All right, they finished. We got next. Let's get it. So what's up, everyone? It's Christian Hayes coming to you today. Um, Today will be probably a unique, different episode. If you notice. All right, they finished. We got next. Let's get it. So what's up, everyone? It's Christian Hayes coming to you today. Today will be probably a unique, different episode. So yeah, it'll be a unique episode. Steven will be coming on in a little bit because you definitely want to stay tuned for his hot takes that he got coming up when it comes to the sports. We'll start off by, as we usually do, some housekeeping and things of that nature. First off, shout out to the whole Luxo gang. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Tyson. I appreciate that a lot. And then I told you I was coming with the throwback. So today it's just going to be us. T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. We'll see when Steven come on if he knows who this is. But those are the two big things that we wanted to start off with. And I'll continue to bring out different things that might be different, either throwback jerseys. We might be promoting and showing different cryptocurrencies each week. But shout out to the Luxo gang. They're an amazing group. They do a what's up. Just tune in for the different people that always come through for the Luxo what's up. They have a lot of knowledge and a lot of information there. And I'll always talk to you guys about various different cryptocurrencies. But that's one I definitely want to talk about to start this off. Another thing I want to end up bringing up too is the giveaways. So we have 3 different giveaways, 2 that me and Steven are doing, and then one that good Luxo friend of mine is taking care of. And I think that you all should listen to both of them. And so the first one is the $25 in Bitcoin. Whoever can come up with the most creative cryptocurrency segment name for us. The next one is, he here. The next one is the $100 Bitcoin giveaway. And once we hit 100 subscribers, and then we also hit 100 likes on any of the videos, we'll end up giving away $100 in Bitcoin. And then the third one we have is by Ethelorian. So you can go on his Twitter, or you can even go on any of my Twitter feed. You'll see it. Ethelorian is giving away 100 Luxo. So what this is, once we end up hitting 1,000 people in the Telegram group, make sure you follow, make sure you retweet, make sure you like, and then, look at the Sixers jersey. And so we'll end up he's doing that one. He's good for it too. So make sure to end up listening in for his giveaway. Check him out. He always drops knowledge. I always have a good time talking to Ethelorian whenever we end up just talking about either cryptocurrency, whether we talk about Luxo, and the speculation of what can end up happening moving forward. How you been, man?
Kids, bro. Kids.
So those are the 3 biggest ones. Next thing I want to just let everyone know about is just a reminder, we are going to have Michael Chan on from the CCO of Utu on Monday. And then we will also end up having Tyler from Safe Haven. And make sure to look out for Luxo and Safe Haven because they both will be taking part in Dubai. They are having a big meeting for a lot of different startup cryptocurrencies. So that's another big thing you all want to end up checking out, listening to, and just listen to everyone that'll be mentioning and talking about that. So that's the next thing that we wanted to bring up. And we wanted to say we are in the process of working on a bunch of different AMAs moving forward. So make sure to end up looking out on our different Twitter feeds for the AMAs that we will have coming up. So with that being said, we'll start going into cryptocurrency and we'll go into sports. We don't have a lot of, well, there is a lot of cryptocurrency stuff, but we're going to make it smaller because there's a lot to talk about. If you followed any of our Twitter feeds, you know that there is a lot in the NBA. Even before we do that, I want to drop something on Steven. You heard about Rick Carlisle?
I did. Yeah, that adds to it.
Yeah.
That just adds a lot of spice, especially to the whole Luka situation. They lost Donnie Nelson, who drafted Luka. Carlisle was gone after 13 seasons. So, I mean, I don't think Luka's going anywhere, but this doesn't help ease his frustration. And then you got the whole Zion thing, which is like, that's low on the totem pole of things we can talk about within the NBA. And yesterday was the first time I was in an actual office in like 16 months. So all the news that was coming in, I kept seeing my phone go off, but I couldn't reach over and check my phone because I was actually in an office and I was actually working this time around. So there was a lot going on, but we'll get to all that. There was a timeline of just like every hour it seemed like things were just popping off and it was crazy. And then the Sixers really just capped off the night.
See? And that was like a big thing. We'll start with, let's go into some of the cryptocurrency stuff. So the first one is Fanzone. So this is something that if we can get this video, pump up the likes on this one. Fanzone is basically a platform for sports fans to end up collecting, buying, and trading cards. So a lot of you basketball fans out there, football fans, you'll collect cards. They're currently starting off with soccer. They have a lot of German football players on their Fanzone platform that they do cards with. I was able to open up my starter pack. I'm not going to talk about it. Ethelorian, Alt, Sarah, Mike. You already know how I feel about that because I definitely was trying to holler at the CEOs and bosses over there because I definitely should have got some cards that Ethelorian and Alt had over there. But we won't go into that. But basically what they're working with, they have a partnership as well with Porsche. And I was just in the Luxo community What's Up not too long ago, and I mentioned to them that Porsche is doing this because they know something, and also probably because other automakers are getting into this industry. If you heard the news today, I'm pretty sure it was McLaren. McLaren just set up a partnership with Tezos to end up doing NFTs on their platform. So that's a big thing, that this is another cryptocurrency that is working with the automakers. So you know that there's going to be more of the automaker industries out there. Mercedes-Benz is working with Ocean with the data protocol and things of that nature. So just keep paying attention to that. Going into the next thing we definitely want to bring up is Mark Cuban. So I just want to start off a little bit with it, then we'll segue into it. A lot of people have heard about Mark Cuban and the rug pull. Just make sure you know that in cryptocurrency, it is the wild, wild west. There is no one necessarily in the different decentralized exchanges that will be taking care of you and making sure of everything. But before we continue with that, I want to just talk about Etherscan and the Binance Smart Chain. So with those, it's an amazing way because everything just stays transparent and you're able to end up saying and seeing just everything going on. So for example, I was talking with Wave Jumper, if you know him on Twitter. He basically put out that someone basically tried to tank the market on Federal Reserve. He had 5 million on Federal Reserve, sold it, brought the price down all the way to 10 cents. And he was expecting it probably to go lower. It didn't even go lower. They actually ate up that 5 million on Federal Reserve tokens and the price went up to 16 cents. So just always make sure if you're trying to pull the price down at something, it's not necessarily always going to go that way. So just be smart about that. And Binance Smart Chain, I'm bringing that up because if anyone heard today, I took part in AI Right. So Ori Chain is an Oracle and they have an NFT platform. I will mention a bunch of different NFT platforms because it is a big industry. And they started the market cap with 350,000. The price was basically 2.5 tenths of a penny. It wasn't even worth the full penny. So the price ended up going up at one point to 8 tenths of a penny. And so it's a promising thing. It's another NFT out there. Of course, you know that Luxo, a lot of people talk about because Fabian and Marjorie, but another interesting one that people should look out for is definitely Orion Chain and I Write. So if you ever see on my Twitter feed, you'll definitely notice that too. Shout out Alts. I see you in here. I appreciate that, man. But now we'll
Shout out.
Yeah. Next thing I want to definitely talk about is just going into Mark Cuban now. So I wanted to end with this because a lot of people are wondering about that. So Titan basically it was a DeFi. And the disappointment with it is a lot of people believed in it because it was basically worth nothing. And the price ended up shooting up to over $60. And a lot of the money was locked in like the total value locked. So it was a couple of millions that were basically locked. I'm lying. It was more than a couple millions, but they had the money locked. And then a lot of the developers and different people ended up selling. So then when they got word of people selling, then it ended up being that other individuals with a lot of money sold too. So that just continued to just drop the price down more and more to basically it went down 99% and it went by quick. And the sad part is a lot of people start to throw more money in thinking, oh, it's a pullback. It's going to continue to go up, but it didn't happen. And so now you have Mark Cuban that is asking for regulation. It's not necessarily an industry of DeFi that needs to be regulated. It's more so, I would say people need to do their research and learn more about it because there's going to be a lot of companies that are claiming that they're going to be pegged to the dollar. And even people, if you look back in the past, Hong Kong tried to, for the longest, have their currency pegged to the US dollar. It doesn't always work that way because if you notice with Titan, they had theirs pegged to the dollar, but it ended up dropping to almost 60, 70 cents. So clearly that whole pegging system of 1-to-1, one American dollar to one Titan didn't necessarily work out that way. So that's the big thing with Mark Cuban. If anyone was ever wondering about that, just make sure also to end up looking into the Binance Smart Chain and Etherscan because you're able to see what transactions happen there. And you can end up learning about what the whales are doing. You might not know their name, but you'll end up knowing what they're more so in-depthly buying or selling per se. But with that being said, we're going to segue this on over to the other Dallas news. So we can start with Donnie Nelson. So what is your thoughts on Donnie Nelson? At first, when I heard it, I was like, all right, so what's happening? Then just to get the news about Rick Carlisle.
All right. So let's just go ahead and set the scene, right?
And shout out to the Luxo gang. I see you in here.
Shout outs. So we had just come off a handful of hours after KD dropped 49, 17 and 10.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's not like the NBA playoffs were boring, but like we needed some excitement. And the biggest name in the playoffs, arguably the best player in the playoffs, it gave us that excitement, right? Gave us that. Absolutely. So now it's going back to, all right. So before we start, tip off is in a couple minutes. Who are we going with? Who you got?
So you already know who I'm going to have.
I do. I'm
going to go with the Nets.
I know. So it's a closeout game. It's game 6 in Milwaukee. You know, even with the way that game ended and the Bucks were up, and then we'll get to the Sixers tank job. They didn't have that big of a tank job, but we'll get to it.
They're in the Mark Cuban category. They just messed themselves up.
Shout out. But it's game 6, closeout game in Milwaukee. Everything leans towards Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
KD doesn't need to have that game he had the other night. I think Giannis needs to flip the script. And I really hope, and I don't have the game on right now, but I really hope they're not going to start Giannis on KD. Mm-hmm. I think you just keep it with PJ Tucker, keep it with Chris Middleton, switch on and off, whatever. Unless KD, goes 8 for 9 and he's got, 20 points at the end of the first, then you can flip on Giannis. But you don't want Giannis to start off on him because KD's too smart and he'll draw those 2 quick fouls. And Giannis is going to be on the bench with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And then it's a wrap. And I'm not even going to watch the end of the game. So we'll start. Let's kind of just set the scene, right? So we started, KD had his thing and we're like, okay, cool. The playoffs, here we go. And then the next day, Wednesday morning, I got the whole lineup right here of how things went down, courtesy of Sham Charania's timeline, right?
He's gotten up there.
He was on it. So 8:30 a.m. he tweets out, Chris Paul gets put into COVID-19 health and safety protocols. He mentions that if Chris Paul is vaccinated, which we don't know.
So Matt Barnes did say today that Chris Paul was vaccinated.
Okay. So at the time it was mentioned that if he's vaccinated, he can come back sooner. And with the Clippers being up 3-2, that series could be over, tomorrow night if the Jazz come back, so who knows when the conference finals are going to start. So that's the Chris Paul news, right? And you're like, oh shit. Okay. The day it's 8:30 in the morning. Okay. Yeah. We're all just getting started with the day, right? So it can't get any crazier than that, right? 11:03 a.m. He tweets out that Kawhi Leonard reportedly has a right knee sprain and he is out indefinitely. Status for Game 5 was up in the air. He wasn't going to play. Status for the rest of the series and the rest of the playoffs is up in the air as well. An hour and 45 minutes later, 12:48 p.m., fear that Kawhi Leonard has, this is key, an ACL injury.
Yeah.
It was never. Nope. It was never. I think later on in the day, I saw that it was an ACL sprain, which we're not doctors, but we all know that's way better than an ACL tear. So
absolutely.
But I think that it still puts the rest of the series in jeopardy, and as well as the playoffs, obviously, because it's an ACL. And I don't know if you saw the play where it happened, but Kawhi's coming down, and it just planted, and it none of those ACL injuries ever look good. I've seen way worse, but you could tell that it was one of those awkward ones. So 1:57 p.m. Johnny Nelson parts ways with the Mavs. That wasn't even big news. On this timeline, there wasn't even anything mentioned about Stan Van Gundy is out in New Orleans. So that was kind of big news, but with the rest of the day, that was neither one of those things were really the biggest news story. 5:34, Shams tweets out, one player has tested positive for COVID-19 out of 164 tested in the last week. Everyone pointed at Chris Paul. And then around 9 o'clock, this is kind of give or take a couple minutes here and there. Around 9 o'clock, the Sixers are up 62-40 at the half. Okay. The Sixers would go on to be up by 25 with 3:15 left in the third quarter. Okay. Were you watching the whole game last night?
I was trying to watch most of it.
Okay. So I started picking up a little bit after halftime, and I was like, okay, great. I'll just have this game on in the background, doing some work. I don't really need to pay attention to it. I kept looking up. It kept getting closer. And then the third quarter ended.
How this happened.
Right. The Hawks got a bucket at the end of the third. I forget what the score was, but it was maybe 11 or 12. 10:30 p.m. around that. The Hawks score 51 points in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they win the game by 5. Now up 3-2 going back to Atlanta. And those lemon pepper wings are going to be on deck in Atlanta, ready to go. Ready to go. We are going back to Atlanta, and it is not going back to Philly. There's no way.
Nope.
No one is leaving Atlanta, because even if the Sixers lose that game, they're going to stay there, get their lemon pepper wings. They're going to go to the club. They're going to, they're going to let off some steam, and then they'll eventually go back to Philly. But that was a day and a half for the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the craziest thing was. Donnie Nelson, that was the whole Luka thing. It's just it kind of puts that in a bad spot. Luka. And now it's who do you bring in as the coach?
Who do you bring in as the coach? Who do you bring in as basically the player personnel person too, GM? Yep. And you're trying to get Luka that max deal. Luka is saying all the things you want him to say, but we've seen this time and time again. He can end up saying, because he's still there for another year, but it's more so they want to close this out now, because if he lets this ride out through the season, he's going to try and look.
Yeah. And you just can't. You have to bring in someone. You have to basically let Luka pick, because
he's in that LeBron category of choosing.
Yeah, if you're gonna build your franchise around him and not Kristaps Porzingis, not the two of them, because Kristaps Porzingis is he's just kind of out there now, as we talked about. It's just Kristaps is gone, so it's Luka.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Luka's franchise. They're not. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read enough or seen enough now to know who's out there coaching. There's always a ton of names that are going to be on coaching lists, but I would have to imagine that Mark Cuban, whoever they're bringing as the general manager, they're going to have to sit down with Luka and be like, hey, what do you want in a coach? Who, like, is there anyone that, I mean, I'm sure Luka isn't paying attention to who's out there on the coaching list because he's got other things to worry about. But, I mean, they're going to have to talk to him and be like, hey, who do you want? What kind of, philosophy are you looking for or whatever? But I mean, you got to satisfy the guy because, I feel like he wants to stay there, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't satisfy him, he's going to be gone in a couple of years. And then you go a little further south in New Orleans with Zion, and like
that's wild too. It's crazy how we can start with like the coach and then the general manager. You're like, all right, this got to be a Luka thing. Then you go to Stan Van Gundy. You're like, Stan was over here thinking, all right, I'm out. And then you hear about the supposed Zion news with his family.
It's just like, but I mean, Zion, he just finished his second season?
Dude, yeah.
So like he's got no pull whatsoever. I mean, he's not leaving. Like New Orleans isn't going to trade him. They're not going to, like, if anything, they just got to bring in somebody. They got to bring in they got to bring in a coach who, like Luka, they got to bring in a coach who Zion is going to mesh with.
It sucks because Monty would have been really good there if everything didn't happen. But I'm just like, look what Monty was able to do now.
Yeah.
And JJ said, I'm out too.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone saw it's just like, it's such a young team. It's I mean, they're all gaining experience, but it's still such a young team. And you need to bring in, you need to bring in a coach who's been around the block a couple of times.
You heard who they're saying might. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but Teresa Weatherspoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was one name I heard. Then I've heard, of course, Chauncey's name is going to be out there. Jay Kidd's name is going to be out there. And Becky Hammond's name is out there too for jobs. But it's some big jobs.
Did you see the news by sometime last week about Jay Kidd in Portland?
Yeah, suppose Dame Lillard wants Jay Kidd, but Jay Kidd's like, I don't know.
I saw, so Jay Kidd wanted to go there, and then Dame didn't, like, he didn't want it as publicized as it was, and like there's, I mean, that whole thing. So I mean, I don't know. There's always so many names, and it's probably gonna be someone we're not expecting.
Oh, absolutely.
But like for those two teams, like you have two of the biggest names in the league and the faces of the NBA for the next, 12 to 15 years, barring any injuries, obviously. You have those two teams. I mean, New Orleans, and I also read today that they're one of the few teams, if the only team, that could be relocated. Their lease is done, I think, in 2023. So they have 2 more seasons.
Which
so
is
they can,
not a lot of time.
Yeah, like, dude, just get them out of there now. Like, dude,
look at Charlotte.
Come on. Like, no one, we've already been through this. Like, just get them back, put them on a plane and send them all to Seattle. Bring the Supersonics back. Like, that's what everybody wants. Like, no one wants the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, they were playing around. They had to change the Bobcats. They were like, let's just go back to the Hornets.
Yeah, like the Charlotte Bobcats, the New Orleans Hornet, the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, they weren't thinking of these names. Come on.
Like,
it's top players and hot coaching positions. You have the Celtics, you have the Wizards. That's another big one. The Wizards one. Because that was the other there.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you have the Pelicans, and then you have the Blazers and the Mavericks. You literally have some of the youth that's out there with these max contracts that they're signing. Because you're not getting rid of the players, so you just got to make coaches work around them.
You got Westbrook, you got Zion, you got Embiid, you got Zion, you got Luka, and you got Dame. You have 4 of the biggest names, 5 if you want to throw Beal in there, of the biggest names in the league. Some of
Tatum.
the, yeah, and like exactly another. That's another one. I mean, that feels like so long ago
I know.
that, I mean, there's a lot of there's gonna be a lot of
And this is
coaching.
not happening. Don't even worry about the draft. This is literally focused on who is in the league now that they're going to bring in to help these stars, and then what coach works best. I honestly think you're probably easiest situation because he's not going to be as vocal per se in his name. He doesn't have the same stardom. I would say Dame is probably the easiest of those groups because Luka, because of the international fame, and then how many international players always go to Dallas, and Mark Cuban is there too. You don't really know that much about the Trailblazers owner. So you have little the Mavericks owner, and then you have Luka, and you got to get rid of Kristaps because he only shooting threes over there. Mm-hmm. So then you also have Boston, which is a hot one because you're paying Tatum all this money. You have Brown, then you have Smart, and them over there. Then also, what the heck are you going to do with the Pelicans? Because you have not heard from LeVar Ball, and you know his ass going to start talking soon.
Yeah. Dude, you might as well just give him a coaching contract.
Give him the coach.
Let him try it out.
His honeymoon of his son winning the Rookie of the Year isn't going to last but so long. So once that ends, he's going to go right back over there and start talking.
I think Portland is the most intriguing one because, like, how many Pelicans games or Pelicans? How many? How many
before Zion?
Yeah, I meant to say Trailblazers. So the Trailblazers is the most intriguing one because them being up basically in Alaska. Like, how many games do you actually watch the Trailblazers? Like like, I mean, those 10:30 starts. We all know how I feel about the 10:30 starts. Like,
I know. Late.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, late. Like, that's late, bro. 10:30. Those games aren't even over till 1:30 sometimes. You know, God forbid it goes into overtime. So it's tough because
good night.
Yeah, like they gotta like the only way I really watch the Trailblazers, which is unfortunate because I mean Damian Lillard is one of the best scorers, shooters, whatever in the league. The only time I get to watch them really is in the playoffs. And you know, if they make an East Coast trip or whatever, you know, if they play in like the Midwest, so you know, I think they need to make a really big splash higher. So it kind of like gives you another reason. It gives fans another reason to wanna watch them. You know, and they got to make some moves. What are you gonna do with CJ and Dame? It doesn't seem like it's going to work out.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
I think they need to bring in a big man for Dame and play a little inside out game. I know Nurkic
Whiteside didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, like, you need like an actual presence down there. And you know, get that inside out game going. But I think that's a very intriguing one. Obviously, New Orleans with Zion, you got to bring in a coach who can get who can work him. Speaking of coaches, I just gotta say this: Budenholzer, Bulldozer, whatever his name is, bro, my guy does not know what he is doing with Giannis. Like, like there was. I watched the entire game, and there were stretches where he would take him out for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Why are you taking this man out?
KD's playing the whole game.
Durant played 48 minutes. If Giannis plays, if he plays those extra minutes, if he plays those 1 to 2 extra minutes that he took him out for in those stretches, I mean, that could be a handful of points. And if you take Giannis out, Durant's like, shit, there's no one on the floor that can guard me. I mean, PJ Tucker can try, but like, the height difference is there, and Durant just shoots over top of him. Giannis is the only one on the floor that can. Yeah.
So like,
why would you even consider taking Giannis out when it's a close game like that? And you know Durant's feeling it, and he's just going to keep doing his thing, and there's nothing that you can do to stop him. So you got to match him point for point. And the only person you have on your floor that can do that consistently is Giannis. Granted, he sucks at free throws, so if it's a free throw game, it's not gonna matter. But
he's gonna miss.
And just leave him in the paint too. Like, there's no need for Giannis to go outside the paint and do anything. Like, nothing. Like, if he can get a mid range, cool. I say the same thing about Zion. Leave them in the paint and just put the other team in foul trouble. So then the other guys get to the line, and Zion's getting to the line, whatever. He's gonna. I mean, if he goes to the line the line 15 times. He's got. I'm hoping he's going to make a handful of them, but
yeah,
he just doesn't know what he's. Bulldozer doesn't know what he's doing.
no,
And if they lose to the Nets or they lose, if they don't win a title this year, I think he's gone.
he almost has to be, because you're not using Giannis right away. I get you had such a great time in Atlanta when you were with the Hawks, but it's totally different. You have one of the premier players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're trying every single year to make sure you keep Giannis out there happy. You messed up with it wasn't Bogdanovich, it was Bogdanovich, the one that went to Atlanta.
Dude, there's first of all, there's way too many guys in the league with that type of name.
Yeah,
like there's way too many of those guys. Like it's like Smith now.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Bogdanovich. It's all like I don't know,
and they're not related.
No, they're not, and they're not even from the same country, probably.
Nope, half the time. No,
did you
but
see?
With them,
no, go ahead.
No, but just with them, you have to almost switch it up. I think that Giannis and Dame are in the same boat. They've had the same Robin with them the whole time, Chris Middleton, and then you have CJ McCollum, but you're not getting anywhere. The goal is to reach the finals at least. Then you have CP3 coming in Phoenix and getting that far. We'll talk about them later, but it's one of those things that they have to change something. You're literally losing every single year to somebody else. But yet, if you're saying that Giannis is MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, also, why isn't he playing on KD in the crunch time minutes all the time?
Why is he not just playing? Like he has to be in the game. Like
and you have Harden that y'all want to take serious when he's clearly not even playing. The man is hurt, and y'all are focusing on Harden. All he wants to do is chill in the lane or chill at the 3-point line. And it's just a spirit that's there. It's giving you like 5 points, but yet playing all these minutes.
Yeah, it's the Bucks they gotta find a better 1-2 with Giannis, because I love Middleton. He can get buckets, but you need someone that's gonna be able to consistently pick up the slack, especially if Giannis, his free throw woes continue and he just has a down game. You need someone who consistently can pick up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of coaches, again, I need to get this one off my chest too. Doc Rivers, where are you at?
Yeah. All right, we could talk about that because that was.
All right, so I'm gonna read this to you. I had this last night too. My phone was blowing up with people sending me stats about the Sixers, the game, everything. It just kept going. I stayed up late because I wanted to just keep up with everything.
There's like
listen
no
to
way
this.
That was real.
Listen to this. Doc Rivers' coaching legacy, and I've never heard of a team or a group of players or a coach that hangs on to one title more than the Celtics title with Doc Rivers, KG,
that big three. Yes.
Bro, it was one title. Y'all won one title with that.
Like nobody knew about the big three like that back then.
And that was what, 2008? It's been a long time, bro. Like we can move on. Like I feel like Doc Rivers doesn't get criticized enough these days because of like that title. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because of, because he had Pierce and Real and Rondo and KG, and it was the Celtics, and they raised, got the number like 16 or 17. I feel like he doesn't get criticized for all of the failures that he's had in the playoffs. Let me just read you this real quick. 2009, Celtics up 3-2 on Orlando. They lose the series. Next year, they are up 3-2 on the Lakers in the finals. They lose. 2012, up 3-2 against the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. They lose the series. 2013, he's now with the Clippers, up 3-2 on the Grizz, lose the series, lose Game 7 at home.
Shout out
to the Grizz. 2014, Clippers blow a 15-point lead in Game 5 versus Thunder, end up losing the series in 6. 2015, blow a 3-1 series lead to the Rockets. 2016, somehow he's still with the coach of the Clippers at this point.
I know. I don't know.
2016, up 2-0 on the Blazers, lose series, lose 4-2. They lost 4 straight games. Now he's 2017, lose Game 7 at home versus the Jazz. 2020, still somehow with the Clippers, blow a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. And then last night, blow 18-point lead in Game 4, 26-point lead in Game 5. Outcome of series to be determined, but it's not looking good.
Steven, at halftime, the score was 62-40. Like I did that. Then at the end of the third quarter, it was 87-69. Then the Hawks scored 40 points. And it was like Trae Young, of course, was leading the way with 39 points. And then he made 17 free throws. You let this man go to the line 19 times. 19. And then you had Collins, then Lemon Pepper Will, 15, Gallinari, 16. And then you look at the other side. I remember you brought this up. It was literally Curry and Embiid. Curry and Embiid had 73 points.
Mm-hmm. They had, I saw they were the only two Sixers to score a field goal in the second half. I think Simmons and I can't remember who it was. It sure as hell wasn't. Why am I blanking? It was sure as hell. Yeah, sure as hell wasn't Tobias Harris. He was back in Detroit last night.
I know, right?
he was chilling. He was back in Detroit, not doing anything. Like I've never seen anything like that before. And I was trying to not be a prisoner of the moment and like not just like get all of my feelings and like join everybody else on the bandwagon of like, wow, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports. I've never seen anything like that before.
No,
like
at the rate it was.
No, when we've seen teams blow leads, like it's happened before. Hell, we saw with the Warriors blew a 3-1 series lead in the finals.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But like that was like over the stretch of games. This was 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you let them score 51 points in 15 minutes, and you were cruising through the game. Embiid was going off. Curry was going off.
36 and 37.
Embiid didn't score in the final 7 minutes. They were down by 3, right? 108, I think it was 108, 105 at the free throw line. He's above 80% free throw shooter, bricks both of them. The announcer just was just like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. And I couldn't believe it either. I'm just sitting there like, what the hell is going on, bro?
Yeah, they had that game in the bag. I don't know how you do that. All you have to do is guard one person and you'll be fine, letting the rest score. Just find someone. Literally, I don't know why you guys don't want to guard the man. And yet he's over here pulling 39 points on you.
I've never seen that happen before. That big of a loss. And they had with 6:25 left in the fourth, they had a 98.8% chance to win.
Yes, I was watching that.
At one point in the game, they had a 99.7% chance to win the game.
Winning, yes.
99.7.
Yeah.
And you lose.
How? How does that happen? You literally, there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason. And you can only ask, all right, Doc, what the hell was happening? What did y'all say to each other in the locker room? Clearly, y'all thought you had this in the bag.
Like I said, I've never seen anything like that before. And I want to find this Doc Rivers quote after the game because it just made me laugh because I was just like, what are you even saying? Oh yeah, here it is. Doc Rivers said, "We'll get back up. We'll be back here for game 7. Nope, they won't. I believe that. This is part of sports. You have some awful moments. We have made this hard on ourselves. We have to own up to that, all of us. And then we have to get up and be ready for the next game." Bro. Yeah. His voice was probably so raspy when he was saying that. It was probably monotone and shit.
At that point.
It wasn't doing anything, bro. That locker room was probably just dead.
I want to switch to his former team because I'm saving the final one because I want to tell everyone my hot take on that game. But I want to talk about the Clippers and Kawhi's injury.
Yeah.
And Ty Lue basically is already saying that they're not going to have Kawhi.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have rumors and stuff because I know Woj, he came out. So, his credibility is saying that there's no chance he comes back for the Western Conference Finals. And I'm just thinking, well, I don't think PG coming out with all these games. Like this game, all right, yeah, that's fine. But for Paul George to bring out basically Indiana Pacers Paul George after him being on the Thunder and then him being on the Clippers, no. You're going to need a lot of people. Like Reggie Jackson, he gave you 22. I don't know if that's happening every single time. Marcus Morris gave you 25. That he's been consistent. I will give him that. But then if you look to the other side, you're expecting those three to continue. When on the other side, Clarkson gave you 15 off the bench. Gobert gave you 17 and 10. That's going to happen most of the time. Bogdanovich gave you 32, and Mitchell had 21. So you have to keep up your scoring without Kawhi, who is probably one of your better shooters on the team, probably him and Marcus Morris, and you expect to compete with that?
I don't want the Jazz in the conference finals. Like, which is like, it's gonna happen now because I don't know how much I trust. It's not so much I don't trust Paul George, but I just don't trust anybody around him.
Yeah.
Like,
you can tell he definitely needs to be a number one for him to shine a lot. If he's a number two, he kind of takes the back seat.
Yeah. And like Pandemic P is, I mean, it's so far in the rearview mirror after all the things that happened yesterday. That's like the least relevant thing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to need to, he's going to need to go back to literally that 2012 series against the Heat when they took him to 7 in the conference finals.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up, completely off topic, but since I was late to the show,
shout out to the number 4 guy.
Yeah. Our off and running video.
Oh, fast break video. Oh,
yeah.
All right. So do your timeout. We got a timeout. Let's get to a fast break video.
We got a quick one. So it's cicada season here, obviously, and this video is not related to cicadas, but
it's related to sports still.
Yeah, it's related to sports, but cicadas, if you're driving down the road down here in Maryland, I mean, they're like little mini grenades. As soon as they hit your car, they just explode, and it is so tough to get them off your car.
Yeah,
it's bad.
They're
so
on something because they just hit your windshield.
I'm going to. This video is somewhat like that. All right, so this video is kind of crazy,
and you're not going to expect it.
No,
we literally all deal with this. I know when I'm driving, they literally think that they run the road.
Watch this. Watch my guy. Well, you just bow. Yo, did you see that guy? Boom.
Because they weren't looking in front. They were just looking at the person in front of them, not what's around them. Homie, literally.
And you could tell was coming. He was on the car. He was on top of the car.
And it was 2 of them. 2 of them actually hit it. 1 hit on the side.
And then, this guy, he was smart. My guy just, but like this guy, look, he is boom. He just flies up here on top of the car and boom. Man, that's like,
I'm looking around. They tried to take up the whole road, Steven.
Well, I mean,
they started off on the side.
I mean, they're racing. This is like the tour. This isn't like the bikers in my neighborhood or something like that. Which, I mean, like, I'll give you I'll give you the shoulder, but as soon as you start going into like the middle of the lane,
all right,
yo, I'm gonna bump you a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little nudge.
Yes,
and bikers don't like when you pass them.
No,
like
they want you to stay behind them.
Either that, or they want you to go to like the other shoulder. Drive off the road into a ditch
to come back
up, and
so you worry about
them.
Their life.
Shout out to the bikers, though.
No, because it started off. So looking at the video, I probably saw it 2 or 3 times after you sent it. They all started off on like one side, then you could tell like the back started like opening up more.
There was like a turn that they were trying to hit, and then they just.
Yep, and you saw the first one clip, then you're like, oh shit, this is going downhill. This is not about to end good. Then this first one hit it. Second one literally on it, like chilling on the windshield wiper and everything like that. No, but that is actually fast break you did. So let's fast break into the other big news, which was CP3. It does help that he is vaccinated. That's what they're saying. And kind of, you just think about what it does for the next series. It's so good that they finished in 4. Like if they didn't finish in 4 and this came out, oh shit, like Jokic would be out here thinking, all right, we might be able to come back or something.
Did you see the picture of Jokic? Speaking of him real quick.
No, which one?
Speaking of, Chris Paul, back to that real quick while I find this picture. I mean, like, I don't know what the what you have to
Because
go
he's in the
through.
protocol system. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we saw Reggie Jackson was in and out of there like it was, like it was nothing. Like he was in there every other game. It felt like. I mean, not Reggie
Yeah.
Jackson. Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
He was in there every single day. It felt like. So I don't
There
know.
was another player that they said it took a month in the protocol. I forget who it was, but I remember when they brought that up. But with him, because I was listening to Rachel Nichols and Matt Barnes talk about it, he basically has to pass a good amount of tests. So it's like some cardiac tests he'll have to pass. And then that is not Jokic. That is not Jokic. What the hell is he doing?
What is he doing?
Why is he doing
Why
it?
is he?
Where is he?
He's back in Serbia.
He got back off. This man's done with
Yo,
the
he
States.
said, this is a wrap,
F
bro.
the States. I know.
Bro, my
Murray
guy
not
is,
here. I'm gone.
My guy is just,
That's a big dude too.
bro. He is just chilling. Like that's the league MVP.
It is. That's a legit, humble, regular league MVP. With his brothers always ready to squat up.
They are ready to scrap any
They wanted to
person
fight
out
Devin.
there. Bro, I would love to just seen them run down there, like have no worries about anything, just run down there and start picking dudes off. Because they would have. Mm-hmm. They like those dudes probably have slept through and gone through so much shit over in Serbia, over there doing God knows what. But they were
stuff over here.
They were ready to lay hands.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hands, bro. That's who you need. That's who the guy up in the up in the stands in the Suns game who is getting that 1-2. That guy who he was getting his ass beat, he needed Jokic's brothers.
Yeah, on his side.
First of all, if you and I, we'll just use if you and I go to a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually saw a video that they had poured a beer on the Suns guy. Right?
Oh, that's what happened.
So the Nuggets guy with a cheap shot, granted, like
when they held him back and then he got the slick shot in.
Yeah, the guy who was wearing the Jamal Murray jersey. Yeah. It was easy to pick people out because they were all wearing jerseys, so you can call them whatever. If we go to a game, bro, and I start getting my ass beat, and you don't jump in, you're looked. Bro. Everybody looked, not just your boy. Everybody else is filming you getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
If I go with my boys, if you and I go, bro, and you don't step in.
That's not gonna be a good
that was like a 6-7 second thing. He's holding him down.
Yo, he even stopped,
making eye contact, and says I'm gonna beat his ass, and he did.
And then he did.
Bro, and if you don't step in and do something,
yeah,
I don't care if you get knocked out too. At least try and step in and save my ass.
Yeah.
If not, we're not boys, bro.
Then
that's not your
boy.
To
skate out of there. Hell yeah, I'm not leaving with him too. Okay, I get what I did was messed up, but then you just gonna leave me to it. At least pull me away. Get us out of there, something.
But then how about Devin Booker tried to find that guy? And I don't know what the full story is, but I know
the Suns guy or the Nuggets guy?
Suns guy. So Booker got in touch with them, and I think they've been DMing, and Booker commented on a picture or whatever on Instagram. I did see that Booker is.
You don't give him tickets.
Yes,
I know it,
bro.
I know.
I don't know. I don't understand how you can condone that's. Booker's not condoning the beating that man gave the other guy, but I don't know. I think he is giving him tickets to the conference finals games.
No, he's going to.
And so you're telling me that all I gotta do is go to a game, beat someone's ass, wear a jersey, beat someone's ass, and I'm gonna get a shout out and get some tickets, right?
Exactly. And he got his own card and everything.
Shout out to Doc. Yeah, you sent me that. Yeah.
I was like, what? This man literally getting everything.
What jersey is that?
You should already know. Who won the Magic back in the day was number one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I'll give everyone my hot take. And I told it to you, Steven, but It all will. So the Suns have a great chance. It's probably one of their few chances because with everyone healthy in the league, I don't know if the Suns are going to get this far again. When you have Clay, Draymond, Steph, and if they add somebody there, if the Mavericks do some more work there, if the Trailblazers either fix the problem that's happening there, then you have the Lakers. And then if the Clippers figure out what they're going to do over there, this might be one of the Suns' few chances to get this far. Also, don't be surprised with the Grizzlies and the Kings of what they're trying to do. So the Suns have a great chance this year. They need CP3 healthy, but I could see them getting to the finals. Now, the thing is, if the Nets win this series, it's over. I'm just going to say Nets in 2 to win the finals. They don't even have Kyrie playing right now. Literally, they have a hamstrung James Harden just chilling in the middle, and Katie's just going off with the help of Jeff Green and then Blake Griffin. And I'm just thinking, all right, CP3 can get them a little bit there because Ayton and Gobert, they'll kind of cancel each other out. Nobody's going to be pulling shot for shot with Booker. Mitchell can come close, but if I'm in a shooting match, I'm choosing Booker over Mitchell. Mm-hmm. And then CP3 can stick with any of the guards, basically. He might be the smallest, but he's definitely going to get you some buckets and then also try and get you steals. So I think that they can get out of the West, but if they're playing the Nets, I'm sorry. If it's any other team in the East, all right, the Suns might win. Because you look at the Hawks they remind me a lot of the Heat in a weird way, but totally different. I was talking to somebody today that the Hawks, because they didn't have to do as much work last year due to COVID and everything, they didn't play as many games. And the Suns, notice those two teams are the ones on the hot runs. They didn't have to play as much. Whereas the Sixers, I don't know what they got going on. The Nets, half of their players were just KD was injured, so he's ready to go now. James Harden, he's playing actually now. So then you have the Clippers with certain players that are able to play. They might try and play Rondo more. That might be their smartest bet if they want any chance to continue forward. But then the Jazz, they're just young, so that they just have energy and ready to go. So you have all the teams that are ready or didn't make it super far in the playoffs last year or didn't have to play as many games. So I see the Suns, they can make it out, but they just have to play smart next round. Now, if CP3 is not there, no, it's not happening. I think the leadership CP3 brings is that tangible asset that they'll need. Booker can shoot him there, as you saw back in the bubble last year, but you need that it. I'm not going to trust either Javon Carter or Cameron Payne and stuff to be your point guard day in and day out. They're great players. I've even seen Cameron Payne play, so I know how good they actually are. Carter's a dog on defense too, but you need that CP3 superstar level to help carry you there. So that's my hot take over there.
Well, first of all, it's 25-16 Bucks.
Yeah.
Closing out.
You know how this starts and ends.
Close out the first quarter. Both Giannis and KD have 10. I don't know if that's a hot take. It's kind of like, man, it's kind of like the MVP. Like, I feel like, we'll just say
I was saying CP3 for MVP too.
Yeah, if the Nets lose this series, right? I think it's totally up for grabs.
Yes.
If they win this series, I don't know, especially if Embiid's not healthy. Okay, so a lot of hypotheticals with all these scenarios, right? Brooklyn wins. Let's just say Philly somehow wins that series. I don't
trust Philly.
No, I don't. No, absolutely not. If Embiid is not healthy, which last night he looked pretty healthy for most of the game. I don't know who of Brooklyn can stop him. Who can slow him down really, especially if he really gets going. So that might be Brooklyn's only test, but it's gonna be they'll pass it because I don't know who's gonna be able to keep up with the Nets scoring wise. Trae Young, if the Hawks get there.
But they need another shooter with the Hawks
right,
if they're going to do it.
And neither one of those teams have that. And then you look, and there's just so many different dynamics with this. Like, if the Sixers make it, Ben Simmons can go on KD and he can.
That'll be a good matchup.
There's other dynamics to each one, but the Bucks are going to win the title if Giannis plays like the MVP. But again, if Brooklyn loses, and Phoenix wins, it's almost like by default because the Lakers aren't healthy. Kawhi's out. The Nets are out. So, and the Nets weren't healthy because who knows when Kyrie's going to come back. James Harden looked healthy. He played a shit ton of minutes.
Hell yeah.
He looked
was
good.
Not 100%.
No, and like he'll get his legs back, and he's got 3 points already. So yeah, I think if the Nets get by the Bucks, I think they'll probably win it, and they should. I think it'd be major disappointment if they don't. But if they don't get by the Bucks, I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns win it again. Like they don't have a real.
I would want them to.
They don't have a real competition.
No,
like the Jazz. Like
I'll watch the series. I'm not going to stay up the whole time to watch every single minute.
No, okay. No, they better. Okay, so first of all, Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time.
No, I know.
So like, you better start those games at 8:30.
Yeah,
okay? I don't care what anybody says. If you better start those games at 8:30. Utah, same shit. That's close enough to the East Coast where you can start those games at 8:30.
Start it. Yeah,
y'all can you can do this. It's not hard.
No.
Hot take, no. Who do you want to win?
So I mentioned this.
Not who you're picking, but who does Christian want to win?
So I mentioned this in the beginning. I remember when we were doing practice. I said, depending on who the Lakers end up with that first round, the Suns could do it. And I think I would want this. I would have wanted the Trailblazers. That's like the team I would want because Grizzlies got a lot of work to do. But I think it would be the Suns or the Bucks. And the Bucks because, man, they just be dogging Giannis. So I kind of want him to end up just getting one so they can just shut him up. His brother won one before him. So clearly that's the issue. But
count.
Yeah, and then I just like how much the Suns have been through like over the years. And just when they sucked, like Booker didn't want to be there. They were trying to recruit Booker to go to Minnesota. Clearly Booker did not want to go there. He was like, nah, y'all, Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, y'all can stay over there. But I would honestly say the Suns, CP3 deserves one. And he's one of the few people I would say he deserves one for all he's done over the years. So who would you say you would want? Not your picking.
Well, it's definitely not the Nets. I'd probably go with the Bucks. I think the Bucks. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. Bucks are the Suns.
And the Jazz haven't done anything wrong. It's kind of like ever since Jordan hit that shot on them every year, I'm just like, it's just the Jazz.
I have like no emotional connection to the Jazz. It's more so like, who do I want to win a title more, Giannis or CP?
Yeah,
like who? I think
Giannis has more chances than Chris.
Yeah, I want to see CP3 get one, just so like that can be put to rest. Kind of like Melo, it's the same thing. Which shout out Melo, dude, go to the Lakers, you'll get a title.
Yeah, just get your title and go home.
Yeah, all Gucci with that one. Yeah, I think it's as the playoffs go on, it's more so who I really want to see win a title. Now I don't want CP3 to be out and then get a title like without playing.
Yeah,
like, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. In my own personal record book, he wouldn't have a title. But I think it's more so who do I want to see win a title more? I'd probably go Chris Paul, but I think if the Bucks beat the Nets, I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Yeah,
I'll probably go with the Bucks. I don't want the Hawks to win. I don't like. It's also like what matchup do I want to see?
It's funny how we don't even focus on Sixers and Hawks. We kind of just skip over that, and it's like, Bucks Nets.
Because like the winner of that Bucks net series, I think will be the team that comes out of the East.
Yes,
because Atlanta's cool, great story. Shout out to the ATL, but
yeah, shout out.
Again, that's like it's like a by default thing. I'd probably go. Yeah, answer the question. I'll go with the Bucks.
Yeah. So I'll run through a couple of scores just so we can touch on some other things. So Naomi Osaka is not going to play in Wimbledon.
Saw that.
Yeah, that was a big thing. And then I saw Darren Ravel bring that up too, that this is going to be a big story down the road, more so just explaining mental and physical health. So that was a huge thing. A couple of things for like the soccer fans. I'll start with the UEFA out there. So Italy and Belgium both have 6 points. Belgium won today over Denmark 2-1. Ukraine won over North Macedonia 2-1. Italy won the other day 3-0 to Switzerland. And then they had a friendly U.S. women.
3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, sorry, 3-0.
Not 3-0, 3-0. Thank you.
3-0. I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then the U.S. women had a friendly. They won 2-0 over Nigeria. So that's happening in the UEFA. Then Copa America, what I'm actually paying attention to at times.
Are you a soccer guy?
Yeah. So back in the day, I used to really like soccer. Now I don't have as much time because these goddamn games come on all these random times. And I'm like,
yeah, it's like 4 a.m.
Yes. I'm not waking up for that. I rarely did it for tennis, but with soccer, like I'll watch it. I used to love watching Luis Suarez. So when Barcelona literally had Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, I was like, damn, like that's a tough team. I could never like Cristiano Ronaldo. That's kind of like how people love LeBron. And then you have the people that are like, I'm not going to root for LeBron. That's kind of how I was with like Ronaldo. I was never rooting for Ronaldo or Messi. I kind of wanted the other people. Drogba was also my dude. So shout out Chelsea when he was out there. But with Copa America, 2 games to look forward to are Brazil.
I like how you said that. I like how you said that. Nice. You put a little sprinkle on that. Nice. All right. Okay.
You have Argentina and Uruguay coming up, and then you also have Brazil and Colombia. So, hey, I'll have flavor all the time.
Yo, I think, yeah, okay. All right. I feel you.
So that's the biggest games coming up. Just a reminder for everyone, make sure to get the likes up and subscribe, because at 100 subscribers and 100 likes on one of the videos, we're going to do our $100 in Bitcoin giveaway. Whoever can come up with the best name for the crypto segment will get $25 in Bitcoin. And then another thing that, Steven, when you aren't on here, it was 2 things. One, if we can get the likes up on one of these videos. So there's something called Fanzone I was talking about. It's basically like trading cards, and they're built on the Luxo testnet, and they're going to move over to the Luxo mainnet when that happens. But they're starting with German trading cards, and they're trying to expand. I was talking to some of them, hoping that they can end up moving to like fantasy American football trading cards.
Is this the same thing as like that Top Shot? Or
yes, yep, similar.
Okay.
So it's not you won't have like a Zion boom and stuff like that in your Top Shot. It's more so think about like Michael Jordan rookie card, how like you'll collect those, but digital wise. But if we can get the likes up, I told everyone I'll work with you to end up you opening a beginner pack on here, so to like support them. So if we can get the likes up for that. And also Ethylorian is doing a huge giveaway. So last I checked, Luxo was around $6.10. And Ethylorian said if he can get 1,000 people into the Telegram chat and get the likes up over there and retweets, he'll give basically away 100 Luxo, which equates out to over $618 you can win if you end up getting in that giveaway. So that's another big giveaway there. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Steven one question. Who you got tonight?
We're talking the Bucks Nets.
Yeah.
I picked the Bucks before the game started, and I told you that earlier today. I'm gonna stick with it. They're up by 12 right now. Yeah, Bucks. I get the Bucks. Bucks win the series too. Bucks in 7, obviously.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with the
Nets. I've been staying with the Bucks.
You have.
It's not because I don't want the Nets to win, which I don't, but I'm just picking the Bucks.
To the Texans. That's how Steven is. He'll stay committed to whatever he says through and through. So that is something I do like about him.
Wow.
But
you really had to go down that path, didn't you? So yeah, I mean, we'll dive way into that kind of stuff come football season.
So that's what I definitely want to do. Looking forward, some things you all can look out for, and probably hopefully July and August, we'll start to get Steven's takes on Penn State football, but also just college football in general, and more so the NFL. But 2 things I want to make sure to let everyone know about is check out Quant. So they're a cryptocurrency they've been actually running as the Bitcoin market has been pulling back. And something I always want everyone to know here, our channel is definitely about entertainment, but also we want to educate. So we want to help you help yourself do better, either in cryptocurrency or learning. Even if we can help you with fantasy football and you give us a shout out, hey, we did our job there. You got anything?
Let's go Bucks.
All right. I